Assalamu alaikum students. I am Humaira Khurshied with your lecture of English. Students, today we are going to start the initial structural part of language communication that is called the sentence. The first question that comes to our mind is, what is a sentence? Yes, sentence. If you are asked to define roughly what is a sentence, the immediate idea that comes to our mind is that sentence is a collection of words. It is a group of words. Yes, it is a part of larger paragraph. But another idea that is missing here is that sentence is actually a part of paragraph that conveys some meaning or gives some sense. So let's have a look at the proper definition of sentence. When we speak or write, we use words. We generally use these words in groups. As little Homer sat in a corner. It is a group of words. Almost 6 words have contributed to make this group. Little Homer sat in a corner. So, a group of words like this, which makes a complete sense, is called a sentence. So, we can say that it is necessary for a sentence first to be a group of words, and secondly to communicate the complete sense. These two things are necessary conditions to make a group of words a sentence. If some group of words is not communicating the full meaning or full sense, it cannot be called a sentence. And the minimum sentence can be a verb. For example, you say to somebody, go, bring. Your verbs are the minimal category of the sentences, because if you order somebody to go, it means you are communicating a full sense. So the minimum constituent element of a sentence can be a verb, or we may say that the smallest sentences or can be just made up of a verb. Students, sentence has 4 types or 4 major kinds. First one is called declarative or assertive sentences. What are the declarative or assertive sentences? As both the words declarative and assertive are indicating a sentence that makes a statement or it asserts a declaration is called a declarative or assertive sentence. Yes, it just makes a स्टेटमेंट कोई भी एक स्टेटमेंट एक बयान जिसमें आ जाए, किसी एक फैक्ट को डिस्क्राइब कर दिया जाए. It can be a major fact or a minor one. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Yes, it's a declarative sentence. एक स्टेटमेंट जो है इसमें बयान कर दी गई है. So, it's the first category, and most of the sentences that we produce in our routine life belong to this category. They are declarative sentences. The second category is the interrogative sentences. Yes, what are interrogative sentences? Most of you have known it, that these sentences are made in order to ask a question. These sentences are used to ask some question. They are further categorized into WH questions or other types of questions, which we will discuss in detail in the next lecture. So we may say a sentence that asks a question is called an interrogative sentence. Where do you live? What is your name? What do you do? Did you work hard? All of these are interrogative sentences. The next type or category of sentence is imperative sentence. What are imperative sentences? Those sentences which make some order, some request, some humble entreaty, are called imperative sentences. Similarly, the sentences that are used to wish something, that are used to pray for something, are also called imperative sentences. It is a larger category indeed. Examples are when you order somebody, be quiet. When you request somebody, have mercy upon us. When you make a commitment by saying, surely we may be there, and when you make a humble request, please help us. All of these are examples of imperative sentences. The next type of the sentences that we are going to read today is the exclamatory sentences. What are exclamatory sentences? These sentences describe sudden feelings of happiness, sadness, or surprise. So, a sentence that expresses strong feeling is called an exclamatory sentence. How cold night it is! What a beautiful scene! What a wonderful place! All of these are conveying some feeling or expression of joy, happiness, or surprise. Students, if we want to describe a sentence into its part or constituent its constituent parts, we can say a sentence can broadly be divided into two parts, and these two parts are subject and predicate. When we make a sentence, वी नेम सम पर्सन और थिंग। जी दो चीज़ें होती हैं, एक उसमें क्या है, आपके सेंटेंस में आप किसी चीज़ या शख्स या जगह का कोई नाम स्पेसिफाई करते हैं या देते हैं, एंड सेकेंडली से समथिंग अबाउट दैट पर्सन और थिंग, आप उस जगह चीज़ के बारे में कुछ और बताते हैं, नाम के अलावा कुछ और उसके बारे में बयान कर रहे होते हैं. द फर्स्ट एलिमेंट when you tell name of some person or place or thing, that is called the subject, and the second element when you say something about that person, place, or something is called your predicate. In other words, we must have a subject to speak about, and we must say or predicate something about that subject. These are the two constituent parts of the sentence. So every sentence has two parts. The part which names the person or thing we are speaking about, this is called the subject of the sentence. The part which tells something about the subject, this is called the predicate of the sentence. Yes, here is an activity for you. You have to do it in your notebooks. Here are given 10 sentences, and you have to separate the subjects and predicates in these sentences. I'm going to elaborate the first one for you. The cackling of geese saved room. So here the subject is the cackling, and the rest of the part of geese saved room is the predicate. You have to separate subjects and predicates in all the 10 sentences and write down in your notebook. Yes, students, there are some other parts of language that resemble a sentence, but they are actually not sentence, and they are rather other categories. अब वो कौन सी ग्रामेटिकल कैटेगरीज हैं जो रिजेंबल तो सेंटेंस से करती हैं, बट दे आर कॉल्ड समथिंग एल्स, नॉट अ सेंटेंस. फर्स्ट ऑफ दम इज द फ्रेज. अ फ्रेज, इट इज़ अगेन अ ग्रुप ऑफ वर्ड्स, जो हमारी सेंटेंस की बेसिक डेफिनेशन थी. अगेन फ्रेज इज अ ग्रुप ऑफ वर्ड्स, लेकिन ये डेफिशिएंट कहाँ पे है? व्हाई इज इट नॉट अ सेंटेंस? बिकॉज इट डज नॉट कम्युनिकेट अ फुल सेंस. It does not complete a sentence. Sorry, it doesn't complete a sense, which was the second essential requirement to be a sentence. Look at the first example. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Look at the group of words in the bracket. On a wall. It is a group of words, but it does not convey or communicate a complete sense. So it is a phrase. Similarly, the sun rises in the east. Again, have a look at the words in the bracket. Again, in the east is a group of words, but it is not communicating the full sense or full meaning. So again, it is a phrase. There came a giant to my door. To my door, the words in a bracket are a group of words, but it is not communicating a complete sense. Again, it is a phrase. It was a sunset of great beauty. Of great beauty, again a group of words, but this group of word is not conveying a complete or full sense of meaning. So it is not a sentence, it is rather a phrase. So we have concluded that a phrase is again a group of words, but it is deficient in the sense that it does not convey the full sense or full meaning. Here, all the words given in the brackets are phrases, and all of them are prepositional phrases. In the next few lectures, we would have a keener look at different types of phrases, and we would definitely see what are prepositional phrases. But for today's lecture, it's sufficient that a group of words that which is part of sentence but it is not communicating a full sense or meaning is called a phrase. Yes, another category that is again a group of words and that resembles a sentence is the clause. What is a clause? Clause is again a part of sentence, just like phrase and sentence. It is a group of words, but despite being part of a sentence, it conveys its full meaning. Clause तो ऐसा नहीं कर रही थी ना. अब ये here are again three conditions for some part of words or some group of words to become a clause. First, it should be collection or group of words. Secondly, it should be part of sentence. Thirdly, it should have complete meaning or complete sense. अगर कहीं भी group of words ये तीनों requirements पूरी कर रहा हो तो then it would be called a clause. Such a group of words which form part of a sentence and contains a subject and a predicate is called a clause. अब clause के लिए एक और necessary condition हमने क्या देखी है grammatical terms में sense communicate करने के अलावा, it should have its independent subject and independent predicate. Let's have a look at the examples. People who pay their debts are trusted. Again, the words in the brackets, they are group of words. Secondly, they are part of sentence. Thirdly, they are conveying complete meaning or making a complete sense. And fourthly, the group of words in the bracket has its own subject who and its own predicate pay their debts. So the words in the bracket make up a clause. Look at the second example. We cannot start while it is raining. While it is raining is communicating a complete sense. Secondly, it is a group of words. Thirdly, it has its own subject, it, and its predicate is raining. Look at the third example. I think that you have made a mistake. You have made a mistake. It is a part of largest sentence. It is a group of words. It is conveying full sense. And lastly, it has a subject you and a predicate have made a mistake. So we can say that all the groups of words in the bracketed form are the clauses. Students, here is an activity for you. Yes, first you have to prepare an assignment on the topic. You can get the help from your book and you can get the help from lecture or from anywhere else to find the appropriate or relevant material. Secondly, you have to provide 5 examples of different sentence types, 5 examples in the form of sentences, and write them in your notebook of all the types of sentences. And then you again have to find 5 examples for phrases, 5 examples of clauses, and you have to write down in your notebook. And one necessary condition is that these phrases or clauses should not be repeated. अगर वो लेक्चर में मौजूद हैं तो वही एग्जाम्पल्स आप अपने नोटबुक पे नोट नहीं करेंगे. दे शुड बी डिफरेंट टू दोज गिवन इन द लेक्चर. उसके अलावा एक इम्पॉर्टेंट बात यह है बच्चे कि आप कोई सी भी की बुक यू कैन कंसल्ट फॉर योर हेल्प. आपकी प्रेस्क्राइब बुक्स में रेनन मार्टिन की बुक है दैट इज़ एक्सीलेंटली गुड, वो आप ले सकते हैं। इफ़ यू आर विलिंग तो मैं आपको मेल भी कर सकती हूँ, मेरे पास उसकी सॉफ्ट कॉपी है, यू कैन गेट इट फ्रॉम मी। और अगर आपके पास कोई बीएस के लेवल की अदर बुक है, जैसे स्टूडेंट्स के पास आइडियल या कोई दूसरी होती है, यू कैन कंसल्ट दैट बुक एज वेल फॉर योर understanding. Try to keep your work prepared in your notebook. Sorry, that would be associated for the with your assessment or sessional marks. अगर आप ये काम नहीं करेंगे, then you would no more be awarded sessional marks. Thank you. It's over for today's lecture.